Hey Gleep, guess what?
What?
This tub, this beautiful bath we're in.
Yeah, it's so bubbly and warm and nice. I
Yeah,
love
right?
sharing with you with our legs intertwined and our toes touching.
I put bubbles, Epsom salt, and 1 drop of blood in this tub.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a little more than 1 drop of blood in the
I was
tub.
wondering because I didn't think blood was this. I didn't think it would permeate the tub so much. Or I feel a bit uncomfortable asking you this, but is it perchance your time of the month?
That's on period poop.
All right. Burke Bark Bjork, everybody. Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of The Liberal Bubble.
Siete.
I think so, unless I can't count for shit, which is a distinct
can.
possibility.
You can count.
Sometimes.
Today.
Today's the day that we're
Today's
podcasting.
one of the days you could count.
And
we're on the podcast.
I'm Skydoge.
Welcome everyone to the podcast, Lady Gleep.
That's Lady Gleep. I'm so happy that you've joined us again in this tub this week. It's been a rough one.
Welcome. It has?
As rough as them all, I'd like to begin by discussing
Rough like a dog because you bark. Rough.
Rough Burke Bark Bjork. If it's not clear, I should mention that Burke Bark Bjork is the sound that all dogs make in Canada. Canada, if you haven't listened to, from a past episode, Canada is a carbon copy of Canada on top of Canada, 5 inches up and to the left.
If you're interested about becoming a citizen,
talk to us.
Hit us up.
Yeah. And all dogs there say Burke Bark Bjork all the time.
Mm-hmm. All the time. They don't stop. Middle of the night, Burke Bark Bjork, Burke Bark Bjork.
It's very annoying.
Like, shh, dogs, I'm sleeping.
What's really bizarre is their affinity for that Icelandic singer, Bjork.
They love Bjork.
They won't say a thing without mentioning Bjork. And listen, Bjork's cool.
I can't say a thing without mentioning Bjork. I have an audience member on my side, right? Here, can you say it into mic?
I can definitely confirm.
Thank God we have a live audience.
Constant Bjork references on this side of the table.
The
side of the tub.
Yep, thank you for remembering the central fucking conceit of this podcast.
We're in a bath.
But I wanted to start off talking about my existential crisis du jour. Fret not. These happen all the time. Today's is broccoli cheddar. No. I've been thinking a lot. Go ahead. No, not from Panera. From the depths of my soul. Been reflecting.
With a drop of blood?
Well, there's more than a drop of blood in me. But how many gallons of blood? It doesn't matter how many gallons of blood are in me. It's enough. But I've been reflecting about this podcast and what I want it to be and what it is and what it will become. And I think at the outset, I was interested in producing a very wonky product. And by wonky, I mean policy-focused and heavy on civics educational. Yes. And I have come to learn through some audience feedback that is not the most accessible and that the more laid-back, casual episodes are better. And so, I think we're going to head that direction.
Yeah, laid back. I ain't even got pants on.
Well, we're in a tub. It would be weird if you had clothes on. But I take all of our baths in full tuxedo.
Well, yeah, you're a dog.
I am a dog, so it only makes sense that I wear clothes in the bath.
I would wear booth.
So
suit.
We're going to still talk about policy. In the coming weeks, I want to talk about the conflict happening on a federal level with voter rights legislation against election security legislation on the state level. I got some things to say about guns. But we're going to try to keep it lighter. Keep it flirty, 30, and thriving. And
from one of my favorite movies, 13 Going on 30.
13 Going on 30 is the reason why I search desperately to find Razzles, the candy that turns into gum that they eat in that film. They suck.
My tongue is always razzle red. What? What? Excuse me, sir.
I'm sorry,
You
did I
would
stutter?
Like razzles? I am frazzled by this.
I'm shocked that you fucking had
information.
razzles. You've had razzles?
Of course I've had razzles. You have to chew really fast to get the gum consistency, because if you don't, you'll just swallow it all. That's the trick.
Am I supposed to swallow it?
No, you're supposed
Yeah,
some
see-
of it disintegrates. You got to chew a lot. You can't just chew one or you're not getting gum. You need like 6 in your mouth, and like half of it will disappear and half will stay chewy in your mouth.
I'm out. For those reasons, I'm out. What do you think about sour razzles?
No, I've never had sour razzles. Can't have a strong opinion.
Well,
I'm not gonna back razzles till I die. I'm not saying that. There's
oh well, it kind
candies
of seems
that
like
are
you're gonna go to the
candies.
fucking mat for razzles, but
If I'm going to war for candy, it's obviously the lemon and cherry filled Twizzlers.
honestly, that's a bold choice too.
They're vegan, they're yummy, they're sour, they're sweet, they have lemon, they have cherry. What more do you want?
But we are not here to discuss razzles, as controversial as they are. And
I mean,
they're controversial.
I don't even know if we could continue with any other conversation without me feeling some type of way, but we will.
Well, I think we'll talk about dissolving the partnership after we finish recording this pod.
Okay, that's fair.
But for now, we're going to maintain a happy face. We're going to set aside our disagreements about razzles. A different candy, but that's okay.
What's your choice?
Of one
Mr.
candy?
Dojo?
Of one
Yeah.
candy?
What are you going to war with, huh?
I would die on the hill of Sour Patch watermelons, probably.
No. As long as we could agree what's the worst, it doesn't matter if we can't agree what's the best.
What's the worst?
The gobstoppers?
I like gobstoppers. I just think I'm being sold a bill of false goods.
You like Whoppers?
I think Whoppers are okay, but I never seek them out. We should probably get to the show.
Yeah, I could do this all day.
But like, yeah, I'm not a fan of malted candy generally, but I don't hate it.
Dots are nasty.
All right, here we go. I hate dots. Finally, we have some common ground on which to
We
proceed.
can move forward.
But today, I couldn't focus on policy because there was a music video that was released and the world stopped. Brains
World
exploded.
went, whoa, hey, Bucky, calm down. You're
Fire
going
and
too
brimstone.
fast.
Fire and brimstone burning from the sky. Doom and gloom, and here's the reason why. Lil Nas X released a new music video.
He did.
MONTERO, open parentheses, call me by your name, close parentheses.
Call me what you want. Call me what you need.
I believe it's call me when what you want, call me when you need.
I haven't read the lyrics.
Call me out by your name, I'll be on the way. I could be wrong. I did do a study of the lyrics because I like... When I listen to music, the first thing I tune into is lyrics, and then I can hear the music. And I think that that's not common.
I was actually upset with YouTube because I was watching it live via FaceTime with you.
Yes.
And I went to go turn on the captions so I could read the lyrics and watch the music video, and there was no captions on YouTube.
No, but I did
So
get
what's
to
up,
watch
YouTube?
a live react to Glow watching MONTERO. She enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah, my first initial reaction was, this man's a barb.
Yes, she said that immediately.
This man loves Nicki Minaj.
Ninki Minaj. Say it right.
Ninjaj.
Put some respect on her name.
Mickey Wait, what's the other one? Because there's Ninki Ninjaj, but then there was a it's there's another one.
I know the one and only Ninki Minaj, Queen number one.
Nicki
Minaj? I don't know.
I'll send it to you and
I-
we'll talk about it next week.
I look forward to it.
But-
Another thing I should mention before we jump in is that I want to incorporate more Ninki Minaj into the pod, more Stan Twitter, more
We're
silly.
barbs out here.
We are barbs. And in keeping with the lighter, sillier tone, I think our editing style is going to get a little more saucy.
Kooky for Cocoa Poof.
Yeah, kooky for Cocoa Poofs. So look forward to that. Chala, anyway, so let's talk about Lil Nas X.
This music video, artistically, or not artistically, but I was telling you before when I was initially watching it, I hate the mix of like the CGI and real life.
Yeah.
Like visually, I don't like the way things look. It either has to be like all cartoon or like all realistic in that mix, which you also see in Taylor Swift music videos, which
We'll talk about. Yeah.
We'll talk about later. But she does that same mix, and I don't know. It reminds me of just like a. Because it's not full Marvel movie CGI where it feels realistic. It's still kind of like, Horton, here's a hooey.
Yeah, there's something about it that is particularly like weightless, and the things
It's
don't
flat.
obey physics. Like for the listener and for the structure of the episode, we watched Lil Nas's music video. Then we watched You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift to assess another version of allyship in her case, promoting equality for the LGBTQ plus community. And then we watched Me, featuring Brandon Urie. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And I'll tell you,
Very correct.
you want to know what's not correct? That fucking song and music video. I hate it. And
I don't know why, but like I was a hater of Taylor Swift, but anytime a song plays, I know all the words somehow. My brain's like, you love this song, and I'm like, I guess I do.
yeah, Glow and I did watch these videos together over.
I'm smiling. the
Yeah,
whole
she was
time.
singing along, smiling. I had looks of befuddlement and occasional like disgust.
Occasional, yeah.
Like, we'll get to it.
I'm on Swift Talk too, so I know a lot of stuff about T Swizzle that you might not know.
Is Swift Talk Taylor Swift TikTok?
Yes, it is.
I can't imagine what would be on that.
Oh, well, we'll dive in. But anyways,
well,
back
another
to
time.
the Lil Nas music video. Besides, like, artistically,
I agree. The aesthetics are a little bit meh.
yeah.
But
that's just my personal opinion.
the concept. What do we got?
The concept?
We open on Lil Nas X as Eve sitting under the tree in the Garden of Eden, only to be seduced by Lil Nas X as a penis snake. Mm-hmm. And then I believe we transition to the trial. Is that what comes next? That's the next set piece, isn't it?
There's a thing and it comes and it's a flower too, and then it lays
Oh, yeah,
him
he
down
starts
and he
running.
licks the abs.
Yeah, no, that's the penis snake. And
The penis snake turns into the person.
yeah, like that face keeps coming out of everywhere. So you got the serpent, right, which is to represent temptation. You've got Lil Nas X plays everyone in this music video, which I think is interesting in that he's
Very Mike Myers of him, Austin Powers style.
yeah, for sure. But I also think it lends like something by way of like he's been like in his own prison. That's what the closet's like. You're the warden of your own fucking prison, and it sucks. And so I think it's interesting he plays his own temptation with prosthetics, and then he knocks himself over as Eve and licks his crotch, not his abs. It's very scandalous, very provocative.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was his bulge. I've seen it multiple times, and I've never thought it was his
The
abs.
bulge is humongous. I don't even know if it's considered a bulge anymore. It's like more than a bulge.
I guess we could discuss that. You're referring to the final set piece?
No, there's a scene when he's on the pole.
That's what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there, but we'll get there. I don't like. Listen, Lil Nas X was not licking himself. That's not possible. So I don't know
There's
whose
obviously
bulge he was licking, but after that we go into a trial of sorts where he is in pastel pinks, teared clothes, being judged by a tribunal of himself in these fantastic denim Marie Antoinette reminiscent fucking beautiful garments, beautiful gowns.
Very ninky. Very ninky.
He talks about how everything he says is cultural noise. He's trapped in a bit of a prison of sorts. I think he's referring to his fame, and how he only wants to fuck the ones he envies, which is to say people who are not also famous. He wants some degree of obscurity and privacy about this, which might seem strange since he made a video about it, but them's his feelings.
Yeah. It must have been really on like a personal level of his life. He was just Old Town Road was his 13th song.
Yeah.
He went to college at Wagner University on Staten Island. I think he dropped out, and then Old Town Road became like the #1 song in the entire world.
It did.
Like, there was really no time for him to adjust to the amount of fame.
Right. It was it was like a literal rocket launch. And I'll be honest, when Old Town Road was a thing, I didn't really fuck with it. I didn't care for it. I didn't hate it, but I never listened to it of my own accord.
I feel like that song really gravitated towards the youth,
And
this song is
that's
for
the thing.
adults.
That is
So it's hard.
core of the issue with the people that are outraged by this video.
Yeah, it's like if Jojo Siwa wrote a song about scissoring, or I don't know.
Honestly, stay tuned.
JoJo's queen and I stan. I'm a JoJo Siwa stan.
This is news to me.
You didn't know? Okay, sorry.
No.
I wish I should have told you.
But if you didn't know, now you know. From there, he begins to ascend to heaven, only to be damned to hell.
He's like right at the top, and the angel's about to be like, hey.
And then, whoops,
welcome.
just like Lucifer, we got a fallen angel, and he slides down on a giant stripper pole, descending into hell like a sickening badass bitch. Lands in hell, walks into the devil's palace, says, fuck it, let's ride. Rides the shit out of him.
Better than any GTA lap dance I'd ever done.
First off, a GTA lap dance is quite a strange bar to set. They are not known for...
I haven't seen a lot of lap dances.
Oh, that's so fat. You ever... Never mind. The film Showgirls exists. But that is insane in its own right. Listen, I'm not here to talk about that.
The only thing I've ever seen about Showgirls is I was just watching Gilmore Girls, and Rory's like, you should put this on a higher shelf so kids can't see it. And then the video store is like, Rory is a saint. And they hide all the movies behind a red curtain in Stars Hollow.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm gay, but I watch Showgirls, and I'm like, this is the least sexy thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. And it's
it's a pass.
So hilarious. No, it's camp. It, like, is perfect.
Okay,
it just, I mean, yeah, I have it on Blu-ray. I'll hook you up.
But that lap dance that Lil Nas gave the devil, Satan, what's his name? What does he go by?
I believe he goes by Satan.
Satan.
I don't fucking know. But listen, the man learned how to pole dance. He's doing all of these amazing stunts. Listen, it was, my mouth was open. I was shocked, face cracked.
Pussy had a heartbeat.
Yep, gagged, gooped, just completely stunned. But for all the best reasons.
And then along with the music video, Lil Nas collab with this brand called Mischief. They do a lot of drops.
They did a lot of mischief, too.
They do tons of mischiefs. There was this one time where you could buy a mystery box, and on the website, it was like, it gave you the dimensions of the box, and it looked like a faded $100 bill. And so when you bought it, you actually received like a box with a faded $100 bill inside. Like it was actually exactly what you were purchasing. That was the surprise. Like they do tons of random things. They've been viral for things that they've done. Like they've made holy water shoes before, but with Lil Nas X, they made Satan shoes. There was 666 pairs. They were selling for $1,018. Because there's I don't know what the things are called in the Bible.
Bible verse.
10:18. Yeah, Bible verse 10:18 something. I don't know.
We should look into what that Bible verse is.
Yeah, let's give it a Google. Give it a Goog.
And while we do that, we're going to take a quick break. This episode of The Liberal Bubble is brought to you by academia, dedicated to brainwashing innocent young minds and producing godless liberals. Growing up, many children were told higher education was essential to a successful future. But over the years, tuition has skyrocketed, and some parents are experiencing buyer's remorse. Because as it turns out, the increased tuition was actually funding the research and development of the electro-biomechanical neurotransmitting zero synapse repositioner, more commonly referred to as the neuralizer, in the 1997 hit sci-fi comedy Men in Black. During my first lecture, the professor stood before the class and used the neuralizer to induce memory loss, instantly stripping us of any sense of self, memory of our personal values, or our ability to think critically. We were blank slates ready for indoctrination. Then, the TAs came around and strapped each student into their chair and pried open their eyes like in A Clockwork Orange, while we were forced to watch a video in which people of every race, gender, and sexual orientation said the same thing. Karl Marx was a really cool dude. Parents have a right to be upset when their child espouses beliefs that differ from their own. College may be about fostering independence, but the child you sent off to school simply isn't capable of thinking for themselves. No. They're just dumb sheep falling prey to the satanic spell of liberal academia. Never question that assumption. Back to the show. Chloe, do you have pants on?
I told you I didn't.
You did not tell me that.
Yes, I did in the beginning.
No.
Yeah, I did. I said it, and I'm not even wearing pants.
Is it on mic?
And you, yes. And you said, well, I'm wearing a suit.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were joking.
I wasn't. Actually, I'm wearing crotchless underwear, so sorry if you saw.
I saw you naked. That's why I was like, oh, she's really not wearing pants.
Yeah, sorry.
Nah, you're good. Ain't nothing I've never seen before.
They're Fenty.
They
actually only, like, I was trying to find high-waisted underwear on their website, and they were only crotchless, so I guess I was like, time to try something new.
I really need to meditate on the practicality of crotchless underwear. But I'm going to do that off mic.
Okay, we'll talk.
Yeah, all right. But I also consulted the Book of the Lord during the break to completely non-dissonant things. And I have found the Bible verse which Lil Nas X is referencing. I will read now the translation. It is the verse Luke 10:18. I'm reading the New King James Version translation because the old King James is canceled.
R.I.P. King James.
Honestly. And the verse is as follows. And he said to them, quote, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. The he in this is a little man by the name of Jesus. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Never. Is he from our town?
No, I think he's from Nazareth or something.
Oh, never been there.
Me neither. But what I do know is that he was a pretty swell dude, by all accounts. And for other godless liberals out there, like myself, and perhaps Lady Gleep, I don't know how she characterizes herself, Satan is a fallen angel gone by the name of Lucifer.
Yeah, the 4 years of Catholic school I went to did nothing for any type of knowledge about religion in my brain.
I always forget you went to Catholic school because you are so unbearably godless. I'm just kidding. But we don't talk about religion. Neither of us are particularly religious. And I think that's important to state because it does factor into our opinions on the video.
Beliefs and opinions.
This is a video that invokes a lot of Catholic Christian imagery to make a point, and
a lot of it flies over my head because I don't really, like, I didn't even realize that he was playing Eve underneath the tree. I don't know why that didn't, like, when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, like,
yeah. There's a lyric:
temptation.
If even in your garden, you know that you can call me when you want. So it's in text, and so I like as we discuss this, I do want to be respectful of the fact that if you are of a certain faith, if these symbols have particular value, if they're sacred to you, that's That's totally fine, and I respect that. And I don't mean neither of us intend to demean the value of those symbols to you.
Yeah, they just don't have.
They don't mean anything to us,
to us.
Right? And so, unfortunately, we can't react with the same reverence when we see it because they simply don't have the same resonance.
I say that staring at the rosary my grandma hung from my office window.
Well, there you go. My room is conspicuously Jesus free. But
So the shoes, there were 666 pairs. They were sold for $1,018.
and they contained a drop of blood.
1018, and they all contained 1 drop of blood in the sole of the shoe.
Consensually given.
Consensually given. It was from members of the Mischief team.
Yes.
They were people. The people making the shoes were just popping a little blood in each pair.
These shoes have generated a great deal of outrage, much to the benefit of Lil Nas X. This man is a master of publicity. Whoever he's working with is incredible. The rollout of this video, the stirring of the pot. I mean, there's a reason the video has over 50 million views and is like less than a week old.
It actually has 69 million when we just watched it.
Wonderful to hear. 34 plus 35. Been listening to that by Ariana Grande. Which I was also thinking, kids probably like Ariana Grande, and she just released a song with Doja Cat and Megan Thee Stallion about 69ing Can You Stay Up All Night, Fuck Me Until Daylight. And it's like, are we equally mad about her?
No.
I'm not mad about any of it, but
neither am I.
The shoes.
People pick and choose for sure.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's all according to your values. And I'll be honest, the shoes were a bit strange to me. Like, the idea of wearing shoes with a person's blood in them strikes me as bizarre. And I don't want it. But I also
I feel like they're more collector's items than anything else.
Most certainly. And it's just not a thing I care to collect.
Yeah.
I think I read that Nike was, threatening lawsuits over this because they were not affiliated with the project, and yet they resemble Nike Air Max.
They are Nike shoes that were redesigned. Mischief has, like I said before, has done this in the past with other Nike shoes. It's not like they were manufacturing and reselling. It's more of like an art piece than like them trying to.
Glow and I had a discussion because Glow asked me how it's possible to use Nike shoes in this way. And I said it's probably the same way, like, if an artist were to, like, paint or augment a shoe, if you have, like, a limited amount, you're not cutting into their market.
Yeah, but I think because the confusion of people thinking Nike was releasing these shoes.
Yeah.
It caused an uproar.
Understandably. I mean, you got, as a company...
Because it wasn't like, oh, Mischief's dropping these shoes.
It was,
everyone
get
was
these
like,
satanic
Nike and
Nikes.
Lil
Yeah.
Nas.
So, I don't know if it was intentional, but it did stir up the controversies. And then when the music video hit, ooh boy. Governors of Republican states were a-tweetin'. And Fox News...
Really?
Oh, yeah. He got into a Twitter fight with the governor. It's truly been a bizarre thing to watch unfold, particularly following the resurgence of WAP as the most dangerous thing in America, following the cancellation of Dr. Seuss. We're on a real culture wars kick over on the right side of the aisle because it's easy to get mad at this type of stuff. But when I saw this video, I'm not going to lie, I felt a cultural reset. As a gay man, I felt seen.
Reset.
I felt fucking seen. I felt like this was legitimately groundbreaking in that it was so mainstream and so provocative. And not just for the sake of being provocative.
Yeah. It wasn't just like, I'm going to get naked for a check. It was very much the first, it wasn't the first. The second thing I said, I was like, wow, it's so new to see, like, because we're really used to men doing drag, but we're not used to the androgynous, like, oh, he's very much so like a man and he's accentuating his features in different ways. Like, yes, he's wearing makeup, but he's not trying to look like a woman. Like,
Right.
we're used to
It's not
seeing.
female
Like,
illusion.
He was very masculine.
Right. He's just
with,
bend
like,
the rules,
feminine
fuck with
aspects.
gender. Like, I don't know if his denim look was corseted, but like, he's got these elements of feminine style, but he's very much a man. There's no question about it. And he's no less of a man for having dressed like that or being gay. And that's a really important thing for young people to know. So what I saw was like an eruption of outrage over the idea that this man, Lil Nas X, who is an idol to children, an idol, this is the man who made Old Town Road, released this
He
video
took his horse there.
without warning.
Literally no warning.
Now
Panini, don't you be a meanie.
Now hold up now. Wait a minute, hold on. What did they expect? Did they want a trigger warning? I think that might not comport with the general attitudes among. I'm generalizing here. I got my broad brush out and I'm painting. But I find it all very amusing. Because, like I said last week, if you're complaining about a Grammys performance or a music video, things are going very well for you. If you're worried about your child seeing this, sorry about it. Your child will get through it, or you can stop them from watching it. But what you might find is that the beliefs that you hold as a parent are divergent from those that your children have. And
sorry that when you give birth to a child, they don't believe the same things you do.
yeah, they develop a little thing called autonomy. And so maybe they're going to watch this and they're going to think, you know what? That's dope as hell. And maybe you raise them as a fundamentalist Christian. I don't know your life, but I hope you're doing well. But like the fact that there is friction now between you and your child over this video is not Lil Nas X's fault. That is par for the course of parenting. And I say that as someone who has very divergent beliefs from their parents and which made them well known throughout my adolescence. It's part and parcel. So we're not gonna take that. The video is not the problem. Your problem with the music video is a problem, and we'll talk about dealing with that. Ultimately, I think, as we talked about, when it comes to reverence for religious symbolism, my sense is that I don't even know the words because I'm not very religious, but like the Christian Catholic community, I know they're not the same, but a lot of the iconography is similar. They're so used to being the predominant cultural group and setting the morality of.
They're like, no, there's the most of us, so we must be the best, and everyone probably wants to do.
Everyone agrees with us because we only know each other, and everyone else is kind of.
And we were kind of talking about this earlier this week, and I brought up that viral video. I think it was a news anchor or someone on some type of political TV where she was talking about abortion and how, like, in your religion, it might be a sin to get an abortion, but she doesn't believe in your religion.
Right.
Like, she is, it's not, it's really has, your religion has nothing to do with, like, her life and your opinion.
I will defend to my dying day your right to be scandalized by this video, to find it utterly blasphemous, and I will hear none of this. Listen, we're due for some satanic panic. It's been a while, but the idea that the video itself is a problem is incorrect. You have every right to believe what you believe, but to expect the world to agree with you is to be delusional. And you'll just stay mad. Yeah. It's never going to happen. I'm sorry. And I say that as someone.
Lo siento.
I say that as someone who has a lot of things that I wish I could enforce upon the world, but unfortunately people are independent thinkers. And if you have every right to not watch this video, you have every right to watch this video and say it's disgusting, sacrilegious garbage, as we have the right to extol it, as we are here on this podcast. I have never heard a song in the mainstream about being gay and DL and being in the closet. I saw him post on his Instagram a letter to his 14-year-old self, and I'm paraphrasing, but like talking about the anxiety he's gone through with this release and the fact that he promised himself he would never mention that guy he met last summer, but he can, and things to that nature. And I'm like, listen, I was a tormented gay kid. If I saw this, it would really help me.
Lil Nas also came out like
a while ago. This is not news, people. And like the man's been wearing bedazzled fucking cowboy suits forever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on all like the red carpets he'd been on, he'd been pulling looks,
yeah,
and none of them were
a fucking
like,
tuxedo.
Yeah, he never pulled up anywhere very like quote unquote
heteronormative,
like,
super mass.
Yeah,
like,
heteronormative.
He's
yeah.
always been fucking with that shit. And like when he came out, I was like suddenly interested in him as an artist, which
You're like, what?
yeah, I was like, that's very cool. I still don't like Old Town Road. I don't think it's bad. I'm just not a fan. Panini is fine.
I think all of his music is catchy.
It is. It's like Taylor Swift that way.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know it and you didn't even realize that you did.
Yeah.
Your brain was like, I'll fill in the rest. Actually, for some reason, I know all the words.
Absolutely. And I had a lot of feelings about this music video and the religious symbolism, and because I felt it was very subversive, and I think that was a source of some of the consternation. This idea that like the symbolism of Christianity is being used to make an argument against Christian values. Ostensibly, I mean, you could make the argument that it's not because he ends up in hell, but the idea that we as the community, the royal we, are having fun with the concept that you've damned all of us to hell for being who we are. Fuck it, let's ride.
Let's do the thing.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a good time. I've had a problem with that really strict morality structure because within that fucking framework, if I'm gay, I'm going to hell, and there's no reason for me not to commit all the crimes and all the sins. So like that's just a bad. It's a bad structure.
Yeah, my one thing about the video that I also said to you earlier in the week was that I was like, the only thing that makes me upset about this video is people that spent years convincing themselves that like being gay wouldn't send them to hell, and then Lil Nas is all like, it is, and we're gonna actually have a fucking blast.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying like he believes that they're going to hell.
No, I think I know within the video that he's being like, oh, you think I'm going to go to hell for being gay?
The tongue is in the cheek.
This is what I'm going to do. 100%. But I think it also could be interpreted by other people different ways. Like I sent you a TikTok of a guy being like, I spent 5 years in therapy trying to convince myself I wasn't going to go to hell for being gay, but now I want to go? ? And so I'm like, oh, that internally that probably like must suck.
Yeah.
To some extent for people who probably have it, because I mean I've never had religious guilt, but I know there must be people who struggle with it.
I don't have religious guilt. I live in a prison of shame, but
prison of
yeah,
shame.
it wasn't.
God's not.
Well, yeah, I don't think he created it, but I'm in it. I'm charting it so I can make an escape, Shawshank Redemption style. But I don't know. I think like it does have the potential to affirm the idea that to be gay is to go to hell, but I think it's ultimately subversive.
Because it's like it's feeding into it in a way that's satirical.
Right. It's entirely subversive. Like,
but I think it still feeds into it enough where people who feel like they were going to go to hell for being gay are like, oh, so it's true? ? If
I'm not sure that the Lil Nas X music video is going to be the deciding factor for those individuals.
No, I don't think 100% that's what it's going to do, but even subconsciously, like on a small level, like the fact I even saw that TikTok, it kind of proved to me that like that was something on people's brain.
That's funny. I saw the TikTok and just laughed because I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. Because you and I have never experienced religious guilt for having our sexual preferences.
Correct. I was raised Unitarian Universalist.
And I was raised by nothing. I was raised by people.
That's good. Takes a village. This music video reminded me a lot of what the Satanic Temple is doing and the way that they are co-opting the symbolism of the church. There's a documentary on Hulu called Hail Satan ? Which details the roots of the Satanic Temple, which began in 2013 as a publicity stunt. It was a joke. These individuals found out that there was going to be a religious statue put on the grounds of their state capital. And so they called the local news and said, hello, we are the Satanic Temple, and if you are going to put a religious statue on Capitol grounds, we demand equal representation. So here is a sketch of our goat demon god, and please create that statue. And of course the answer was no, and so they made a bit of a show as to, like, they show up in their robes and they are these scandalizing figures, but as the church itself kind of takes off as a concept beyond the initial right, they're like, holy shit, we created a religion. We have to actually like form an organization that defines what this religion is, because the modern Satanic Temple is explicitly not about worshiping evil at all. It does not conceive Satan as an entity of evil at all, because it does not accept as axiomatic the idea that God embodies good, because God is good within the framework of the church. And if you have been burned by the church, if you don't feel comfortable in the church, if the church has shunned you, that symbol of goodness kind of doesn't resonate with you. And Satan, as an opposition force, doesn't necessarily have to advocate for evil. He advocates for an opposition to whatever God stands for. And so if you're a member of the modern Satanic Temple and you believe that God is representative of the church, Satan is representative.
You don't like the church.
Right. And I think there's plenty of reasons to have problems with the church itself. And if you don't have those problems, that's cool too. I'll see you on Sunday. But
Happy Easter.
oh yeah, it's Easter. See, this is how much I don't know anything. I also like to call Easter Zombie Jesus Day. So just to kind
More
of
accurate.
let you know where I am in terms of my relationship to this symbolism. And I don't mean it in a denigrating way, but I can't just pretend like it is my bread and butter. It isn't. So in that way, he frames the concept of falling prey to sin in a biblical sense as empowering. He also references the film Call Me By Your Name, which I think is interesting.
The thing for me is, I'm like, what is he singing about being like gay on the down low when he's been out for over like a year?
He, I believe, is talking about dating men who are on the DL.
Oh, okay.
And that, like, his relationships are not in the public eye. Mm-hmm. He wants privacy.
Which is fair. I mean, if your whole life is going to be public, you'd want some things to be kept to yourself.
Yeah, there's this, like, gross idea that, like, well, if you're famous, you've sacrificed the right to privacy. And it's like, no, that is incorrect.
That's untrue.
Everyone has a right to privacy, and that, I think, is what it's about. The song articulates, like, the idea that he's there to sin and somebody else is still in the closet and not aware of, like, who they are. You live in the dark, boy. I cannot pretend. I'm not phased, only here to sin.
I assume that most like gay men who are out are approached by closeted men all the time.
It's not uncommon. I mean, some people don't enjoy the experience of dating someone in the closet because it is a different experience. and that is kind of embodied in the lyric, "Call me by your name, tell me you love me in private, call me by your name, I do not care if you're lying." There's something complicated about that emotionally, but it can still be satisfying and fulfilling and every bit as valid a relationship. And I'm glad there's a song that recognizes that. And I'm glad there's a song that recognizes the fraught feelings of guilt that come with this. Because I don't know for a fact how he was raised, but I assume with some religious upbringing.
Yeah, I feel like the amount of symbolism that was in the video, he must have grown up in the church in some aspect, or was surrounded by family members who did.
So, I mean, it's a video that talks about in its opening monologue the concept of gay bashing. It's very clear. It's a very clear piece of advocacy and provocative art that has clearly started a conversation. But I'm sad to see the conversation, part of the conversation, not progress beyond the fact of, oh my goodness, how could this exist? Think of the children. I've thought about.
I know you're jerking it on Pornhub every
and
night.
I've thought of the children, and
Mark.
the kids will be all right.
Evil is gonna like ruin your child's life. Hi, there's much more worse stuff on the
I
internet.
agree.
Like actual damaging things that could be easily Googled and readily available.
And I think that if you believe that being gay is a sin, then this is something evil to you. And I don't agree with you. I find your beliefs every bit as misguided as you find my quote-unquote lifestyle choice. So we have common ground there in the sense, like, I respect your right to feel some type of way, and I maintain my right to utterly dismiss your point of view because I don't agree with it in the slightest. And yet, sound off. But to what end? What do you want?
Yeah. I think my personal thing with Lil Nas, I like the music video, but I'm also a scaredy cat, as you know.
I do know.
The audience doesn't, but I am a really big scaredy cat.
Boo!
I just don't like things that hold negative energy to them. I'm not saying that, like, I fully believe in, like, the devil and Satan, but I do believe in, like, demonic energy or like negative energy.
I do too.
Like
I believe in
bad karma and stuff like that.
I believe in
Do
bad.
I necessarily think it needs to be tied to like the devil and worshiping Satan. No, but like Ouija boards are fucking real and like
There is
ghosts.
We're
are
on the
real,
exact
in
same
my
page
opinion.
in that like I don't want to fuck with shit that I don't fully understand. And
Yeah, I don't understand it, and if I'm like yeah, like I love this like I like the video, am I gonna start like wearing satanic
No.
shoes or want to try and no, like I'm not. I think there is I just don't like darker energy. Not that
I
it's
understand that.
evil, but I just like it makes me
I honestly
because I've
would
just grown up being scared of
I
it.
would recommend watching Hail Satan because I have always been made incredibly uncomfortable by anything satanic in nature, and that film completely reframed the concept for me.
I remember there was a BuzzFeed video maybe like 3 or 4 years ago where like they went and like hung out with someone who belonged to a satanic church, and they were just like hanging out and like
There are different
circle, like hanging out in a circle, lighting candles, like obviously like wearing darker clothes and
and they
black
do
lipstick and,
sacrilegious ceremonies. Like they
Yeah.
do perverse things to the symbols which the church holds reverence for.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't understand that, but I don't necessarily think like they're doing bad.
Well, they're
things.
certainly not doing evil. Their tenets are compassion, empathy, and service to the community, and nonviolence, and complete nonviolence. And again, they don't associate Satan with evil or malevolence at all. There is differing sects of Satanism. Some are more extreme and depart from the tenets of the modern satanic temple. And that's important to keep in mind, just as there are different sects of Christianity, Catholicism, same of Satanism. I am not a Satanist. I should feel like I don't know why. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I'm not.
You're just specifically.
I've talked a lot about it, but I am not one.
I think it's, for me personally, easier digestible. Not even, like, honestly, sometimes it's even a little hard to do, like, the overwhelming positivity as well. Like, we were going to talk about Taylor Swift. We brought her up earlier in our conversation. Like, that bubblegum pop allyship, the rainbow, the glitter, the sparkle. Sometimes that makes me uncomfortable, too, because the amount of, like, overwhelming positivity and, like, comfort is like, both extremes are sometimes just
toxic positivity is a real thing.
I like to live in the middle.
And, like,
not saying that I won't put glitter on my eyelid and shake my ass. Like,
obviously, who said you wouldn't, bitch? You better.
But there's just levels of both that make me uncomfortable, and I don't know if it's because, like, my life or
I'm glad you've pivoted.
Things.
Yeah, like we watched Me for aesthetic reasons, and You Need to Calm Down.
No, we didn't. We didn't watch Me for aesthetic reasons. We actually watched
I asked you why we watched it, and you said you'd tell me on the pod. Tell me, why did you ask me to watch that terrible fucking video?
So, you wanted to watch You Need to Calm Down because it is very much Taylor Swift being, quote-unquote, allied to the LGBTQ community. And I think as an outsider who isn't, like, really a fan of Taylor Swift, you'd be like, this allyship feels so
hollow. That's how I felt.
Hollow. It feels
pandering to me.
Yeah, it feels like a money grab. It's like, I'm not gay, but you're
queer
cool.
baiting.
And it, like,
I'm not gay, but if I was, I would want equal rights.
I would want equal rights. Lonely Island. I think I remember when I first saw that music video when it came out, I was like, why? Like, why are you pandering so hard?
I was like, so you called every gay
feel
person
the need
you know
to make this music video? But as I've been on Swift Talk, I watched this video the other day from this girl who's a really big fan of Taylor Swift, who was like, everyone knows that Taylor Swift is actually gay and a lesbian, and if we didn't know that this was true, we would all be really upset by all her, like, actions. But because we know that all the Easter eggs that she's given us, she actually is a part of the community.
All right.
Because Me, I mean, this is a reach, but Me was released on April 26th, and April 26th is Lesbian Visibility Day. And people like to say that Taylor Swift likes to leave tons of, like, little hints to her fans. When Folklore just came out, there's so many articles, like, there's one on the advocate.com. All of the lesbian Easter eggs Taylor Swift left us in Folklore. And, like, all of her diehard fans genuinely think she is a part of the community. And so I think if her fans are convinced by that, like, her actions are more of a closeted perspective than an outside. Like, she wants to be a part of the community, but she doesn't want to claim the title.
Well, I'm going to have to go on record and say all of that, well and true. Swifties, do your thing. I'm incredibly uncomfortable by the idea of labeling someone gay before they themselves do it. We had a similar conversation about Jojo Siwa.
Yeah, we did. I mean, this is, I also am not going to say, like, oh, Taylor Swift is gay.
What that's called is called outing someone, and it's a real fucking dick move. So, Taylor Swift will tell you she's gay when and if she's gay, and in the manner she deems appropriate. I would not personally operate on the assumption that she's part of the community, so long as she's not. I'm just telling you what
the internet has told me.
The internet has told me that reptilians run the world. The internet has told me that the world is flat. The internet has told me that I need to look to a man named Q to find out how to stop Democrats from drinking blood of children. So
the internet has said
color me skeptical.
Taylor Swift has never come out and said, hey guys, I am a part of the LGBT community. I
remember when it was shocking that she came out as a Democrat in the 2018 midterms. So,
yeah, in her documentary, it was a big deal because I feel like whatever is happening within her record label and everything, I feel like it's probably been hard for her to be herself in all types. It seems like she's getting more comfortable with it now that she's, like, released, I think, 3 albums over quarantine.
But isn't she also, like, in a very serious relationship with a man?
Yeah, that's why before I asked you, I'm like, could you be a lesbian and date a straight
And my
man?
answer was yes. I mean, you can be whatever you want to be. But I think what's essential there is self-identification, because fans don't know you, period. You can listen to everything Taylor Swift has ever sang and follow everything that she's ever done on the internet, and guess what? You've never met Taylor Swift and you don't know anything about her.
That's true. A lot of people are saying that Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss allegedly were dating. There's a lot of songs on her new album that that are Easter eggs towards their relationship and how Karlie broke her heart, XYZ. Like I said, these are all.
So
Yeah.
you had me watch Me because of a lesbian conspiracy theory.
Lesbian conspiracy theory. Because that video came out on Lesbian Visibility Day.
I can't, say it's wrong, but I'm glad that you didn't tell me that was why we were watching it beforehand, because I never would have fucking watched it. Nope. So you know me well. I hate the aesthetics. I don't have much to say about Me.
I personally don't think Taylor Swift is
content-wise,
nor gay. I've never heard her dating a woman or being with a woman. If she is very much so closeted.
And in that way, she is to be regarded as straight until she indicates otherwise.
She is straight to me.
Yeah, that's my belief.
But Jojo Siwa would be gay.
Yeah, she came out conclusively.
Conclusively.
So I mounted this same argument around Jojo Siwa, and she came out as gay, and I was like, great, we have confirmation. But I just simply think it's wrong to assume people are gay.
How would you have felt if Lil Nas, we didn't know he was gay in that music video released? Would you have been like, well, he's straight until he says?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have been like, this guy's really fucking with gender, and I love it, but straight guys can fuck with gender.
Lyrically.
Well, yeah, that's why it's hard to run the counterfactual, because the song is talking about how I'm gay. Montero is his birth name, I understand. So it's this is a song about me not repressing my gayness. So
would you
that
consider
song
that
being released?
If he never came out and that song was released, would you consider that song a coming out?
No, because it's not. But it's also hard to run the counterfactual because it's hypothetical. Yeah, he's out. And I don't think a person in the closet, intent on staying in the closet, would release such overt content. But if they did, and then were like, I'm still straight, I'd be like, okay.
Bitches be gay. Good for you.
But then we watched You Need to Calm Down, which I thought thematically was comparable. I'm going to classify Taylor Swift as an ally until I hear otherwise from T Swizzles.
I also agree. I just wanted to feed into.
No, I'm glad you brought it up because I had no idea this was happening. Yeah. And I do find it fascinating how fans decide the sexuality of their...
Her fans 100% think that she is not straight. I, as someone who is not a fan of Taylor Swift but does know all the lyrics to majority of her songs, think she is straight until otherwise noted.
Until proven otherwise. No, yeah, not proven, but until she wants to identify as such.
Yeah, but I remember when that music video came out. I'm pretty sure I watched it at your house with you, and I was just like, I hate this.
We hated it.
I hate this so much.
And it has grown on me ever so slightly.
I mean, I did sing it. I hate when she goes, spelling is fun. It really takes me out for a second, but then I'm back in.
That's actually in Me, isn't it?
Oh, you're right.
Because you can't spell awesome without me.
You're right. I'm on the wrong music
video.
That
makes my brain atrophy. I hate it. Okay, so here are my feelings about You Need to Calm Down. 1, gay people are used as props.
Yeah. Literally 2, every famous gay person in the...
It's exclusively famous gays.
Famous gays only. Haley Kinoko. So, literally all of the Fab Five.
The Queer Eye cast, yeah.
RuPaul, Ellen DeGeneres.
A bunch of queens from Drag Race.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family.
It's great. You've shown us very successful
Ryan Reynolds,
gay people. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in the video, and I asked Glow if he's gay, and I'm pretty sure he's not.
Married to Blake Lively? I don't know why.
No, they got a divorce many years ago.
No.
Yeah.
They're married.
Check my facts while I continue to talk about this
They're
here
married.
video. So my other issue with You Need to Calm Down was the complete mischaracterization of homophobia, best embodied in the line, "Shade never made anybody less gay." For the record, people carrying signs that say "God hates are not throwing shade. It's bigotry. But anyway, like those Westboro Baptist Church signs, people cut from that cloth. Their problem is not shade. They don't need to calm down. I mean, I guess they need to calm down, but telling them that is doing absolutely nothing. And the call to action is to sign a petition at the end, which, great. So I watched that and I felt, I don't know, pandered to, queer baited, and
It felt like during
unseen.
June when all the
corporate pride, yeah,
when corporate
100%.
pride like, changes their Instagram picture to like T-Mobile turns their T to like a rainbow T. I'm like, wow,
I love
thanks.
mocking corporate pride.
Thanks.
TD Bank cares for 30 days, 31. How many days are in June? I never learned the fucking rhyme.
It's your birthday month.
Yeah, but it's not on the 30th or the 31st.
April,
So
30 days past November, April, June, and November. So I think 31.
you said November twice, but I'll take your word for it because I don't know shit.
Maybe 30 days past September, April, June, and November.
I'll take it. But either way,
Maybe June is just 30.
I love how I just
Yeah.
really enjoy corporate pride and how empty a display of solidarity it is. And that is such an apt comparison to Galapagos.
Thanks.
Like, it feels like it has all of the trappings of allyship, and it's just a candy-coated shell of nothing.
Yeah. And my thing with allyship, I'm like, why do you... Not that you shouldn't care as much as you do, but, like, the Stonewall reference. And there's so many, like, references about gayness in the music video, too. Like, she did her homework. She knows what's up.
I missed the Stonewall reference.
That's what Ryan Reynolds painting.
Ryan Reynolds was painting Stonewall?
Yes.
All right, so now I'm extra confused by Ryan Reynolds' inclusion in this video. Did he throw the first brick? No.
I don't know. Yeah. Her allyship is kind of... I guess it's good to be educated. You want people to be on your...
Yeah, I don't think she's doing damage.
good
I want to make that
ally.
clear. Yeah, I don't think that what she's doing is detrimental to
It's
the
just
community.
weird.
It's like, it is weird, and my response when I see it is do more. And when that is contrasted to what I just saw Lil Nas pull at,
But he's also...
excuse me, what I just...
He's also a gay man, so it's different when an ally does something versus a gay man does something, because you're like, do more.
Absolutely.
And it's like, what more could she do? She might be donating money behind the scenes, but like...
come out as a lesbian.
Or else...
Whether it's true or not, the fans have decided. Just like they wanted the Snyder Cut released of Justice League, they want a lesbian Taylor Swift, so make it happen. No, I mean, like, what do I want? I want something more policy and politically focused than a petition.
But you also don't know what
because-
she was doing behind the scenes. Or like...
No, I know everything. I know that contrasts to what I just said about not knowing about months, but I lied. I know everything.
Yeah.
No, listen, you're right. I don't know what she's doing behind the scenes, and I'm sure. Again, I'm not saying she's doing something wrong. I'm just saying that brand of advocacy for the community did not seem to provoke anyone. I don't remember backlash to that video from the right.
Yeah.
And it's probably because it's very bland and
They
inoffensive.
were also in it. There was representation of the hatred.
They were not in it. They were like these reductive, stereotypical,
Baptist church.
yeah, like rednecks. It that also undercuts the realities of homophobia,
Yeah.
which is it's not
Like,
a
people
backwoods
actually get
occurrence. It's
murdered
just
in
a
the streets for being transgender.
yeah, in very liberal spaces. Sometimes it is not like
It's not just picketed
it's
signs.
not as it is so. You Need to Calm Down is so fucking reductive. It is everything about it from the set, which is entirely fake, obviously, which is fine, but it's the aesthetic. That aesthetic, that sincerity applies to the advocacy. In conclusion, we've talked a lot about music videos today. As I mentioned earlier, defend your right to be scandalized by this provocative and blasphemous video. But to tell Lil Nas X that, to scold him in the slightest, you are way out of your fucking lane, in my opinion. You can live your values in every facet of your life, and the second you begin trying to enforce them on anyone other than yourself, you've gone too far. That's just how I believe, as I create a podcast espousing my beliefs. But listen, you don't got to believe them. You could throw them in the trash. I care, but it's your right. But ultimately, I was thinking about Taylor Swift's advocacy as an ally and how that materialized in her video.
And that's that.
That's that on that. Lil Nas X, big fan. If you're listening to this, why and how. But subscribe, and if you're not Lil Nas X, also subscribe. Give us a 5-star review. It really helps with the algorithm, helps us grow, find new people.
Some love, some kisses.
If you want to, forehead kisses, Eskimo kisses, butterfly kisses, all the kisses. If you want to find me, I'm at SkydogeBubble on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and at SkydogeBubble@gmail.com. And Lady Gleep, where can our fans find you?
Lady Gleep on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all the places.
All the places you'll go.
Maybe one day OnlyFans, but who knows?
Honestly, listen.
One day, maybe.
I'm
trying to get on WikiFeet.
WikiFeet. Honestly, you have a resume in that gingerbread house video.
Oh, I do. I accidentally got onto foot YouTube once when I was a little too young. One of the comments specifically said, if you mute the video, it's pretty good. Her voice is so
It was
annoying.
so fucking rude. It was like pretty hot feet, but her voice is so annoying. And I'm like,
it's better if you mute the video. Anyways,
it's like, dude, you have a foot fetish, so